What's up, everybody? My name is Joy Moya. I'm going to share with you an artistic testimony of memories that have helped to define what I observe as beauty marks. I have divided these reflections into 13 chapters. Let's begin with chapter 10, Who Am I? I am the person that was in the pit with you. I had this crazy idea that if I showed a few specific people what they looked like and sounded like, that they would change. I did that for a couple of cousins, okay? One who openly expressed herself with profanity, another who moved on to the next before the current was gone. Though they were both young at the time, I suppose that my public journey helped shape their growth. Because one is married and the other graduated college and is practicing her angles. I later realized that it was God all along, because there's nothing new under the sun. So my testimony does not belong to me. It belongs to the spirit that needs light or a sound for direction. Now, I was in the clubs trying to look good and enjoy the music back in my day. It was always interesting to see what everyone was wearing, because getting dressed for the club was a big deal in my family. Dressing up and looking good was all the rave, and it was just a good time. A deeper look into my life and choices led me to recognize how I chose the guys that I dated. More often than not, I chose what I thought was protection and safety. I found out only God can provide that. There were a few that I dated because family members encouraged it. They saw wealth and I was their connection to it. I was like a best friend to many, although I can't say that I ever had one. I traveled to a different state to help host a celebration birthday for a friend. I was in the delivery room for a couple. I babysat for many. I diagnosed a broken leg on a newborn. I diagnosed a serious health condition on another newborn. And he actually graduated college not so long ago. I've counseled marriages. I've loved when there was only tolerance for me. Now, I don't want you to think that, nor I don't want to convey that, okay? That I'm this Miss Goody Two Shoes and that I've never been in error. But I've had many more mistakes than I can name. But overall, I'm genuine and my heart is pure. I had to do the work to become a better version of myself. I had to recognize that my ways were not God's ways. And then I had to become aligned to His will and His purpose. I'm still discovering things about myself, especially outside of the pain and trauma that was a large portion of my life. Outside of my mother and my father's family, outside of the mistakes and wrong turns that I've made, I must admit that I'm excited to see this new creation God has made as I continue my journey with His lead. Now, as far as my name, my mother made my name up. The first part is Joy from the Bible. The second part, Moya, is after an African prince. The middle part of my name is after the model and actress Susan Anton. So I get it naturally. I want everyone around me as smart, as beautiful, and as successful as me. I want everyone around me to know that God is real. And I want everyone to know who I am. I don't like talking about myself a lot. It is hard for me to describe myself to people. I always freeze up on when it's time to do an interview, and of course the interviewer is like, well, tell me about yourself. I can't tell you about me. I don't like talking about me. I am just a person that you would have to get to know. I am definitely an experience. I am definitely someone that loves and cares wholeheartedly. So yeah, it's always been a challenge for me to tell who I am, right? But I am opening up to letting people know, because I don't want anyone to have me messed up out here. Like, the street me wants to say something else, but the saved me, I have to say that I want to be clear in your understanding of who I am, right? That part. But I think I'm funny. I have this like unusual sense of humor. I like to laugh. Definitely, I like to laugh at myself a little bit. Even though I like to poke fun at myself, I'm very sensitive, right? So, some things that people do and say, they will affect me eventually, not right off the back though. You know what I mean? Because I, at some point, expected everybody to love me and be genuine, but I had to learn the hard way, okay? God made me find out. God made me open my eyes and pay attention to people and their actions and their words and their demeanor. I don't know. But for the most part, I am who I say I am. And that's just that.